Okay, we're ready. So, good
Pat,
evening,
this is Mitch.
everyone.
This is Mitch. Can you
Is
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Mitch.
I apologize. I'm just out of town and I'm just driving. If Lucian could do me the favor to sign me in because I can't press any more buttons right now.
Okay, we'll
But you
take
can
care of
sign in
that
once you
toward
park
the
your car.
Yeah, we'll take care of it toward the end of the
Or,
meeting.
or, or I'll do it in a half an hour. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is our February Quality of Life Service Delivery Committee meeting. I'm Pat Moore, the chair. Mariana James is the co-chair, and our district manager is Lucian Reynolds, who is on. And welcome. So we have a quick announcement from, is it Chu Man?
Yes.
Yes, hi Chu, welcome from New York Presbyterian. So you are first.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for having me in such a short notice. My name is Chuman Lai. I'm the manager of community affairs at New York Presbyterian Lower Manhattan Hospital. I see some familiar faces like Diane and Francis who used to come to our community advisory board meeting. I just like to do a quick report out what we have done at the hospital to the local community. So as of last month in January, together with our team of staff member, we were able to collect 16 bags of winter clothing and donate it to the asylum seekers in the neighborhood. So this is a partnership from the awareness of one of our community advisory board member, raise our attention about some of the local students, who actually having, uh, concerns, like getting enough clothing, for the winter as they're not anticipated. So we're glad that we were able to help these family. I also want to bring the awareness that February is the month of the Heart Health Awareness Month, and we are presenting some virtual workshop from our clinicians, our nurse practitioner, and also our cardiologist in the following 2 weeks. One is February 22nd, and one is on February 28th. They're both in the afternoon. So if I think I sent the flyers over to Francis, and if you can circulate, to your group, feel free to ask them, to join for free. And we hope that, more people can learn about prevention and how to stay well, at their home setting. And the last thing I want to bring to the attention is we are going to launch a series of pain management workshop each month. We just have one last night, but there's going to be 2 more in March, and then in April and also May. So we hope, that we can bring some experts, to share their wealth of knowledge, to our community, as pain is a major issue for many people. So hopefully this will be a great topic, for people to learn more about it and take care of themselves. So thank you very much for your time. Any
Chu,
questions?
can you make sure you get those flyers and the dates to Lucian and or to Francis or both, and then we can put it in our newsletter, the CB1 newsletter?
Sure, absolutely. Francis, did you receive?
They were attached to the email that I copied you on, telling
Okay,
her
so
what to
we'll just make
what to do,
sure,
but I'll do it again.
tomorrow or whatever, let's just make sure that Lucian has
Okay.
that information so it could go in the email. All right, so I'm
Gotcha.
opening the floor up for any quick questions. Diane?
Diane, yeah.
Have you been in contact with the director of the IPN Senior Center? It's part of Greenwich House.
No,
Might be
is that
interesting.
the Independent Plaza?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, so actually, I have worked with Lupe, and yes, she have, and hopefully I will set up a meeting with her. We're starting to go back out to the community to have some in-person activities. So I'll definitely loop in with Lupe. And if you have any other contact or yourself, feel free to shoot me an email. Okay. I could write my email on the chat, and then you guys can connect me, for any other requests. Okay.
Because some of these workshops sounded like they would be a good tie-in with some of the, and they do have, they do have field trips and buses. So, if people can't get there, but
Also, St. Margaret's and what's it,
Southbridge.
Hallmark over in Battery Park City.
Mhm.
And have you reached out to Trinity Church?
Yes, I'm working very closely with them.
Okay,
I
great.
actually just have a meeting with them today. I sat on their neighborhood council, so we work very closely on that. Thank you.
Fantastic,
Okay.
fantastic. Okay. Lucian, Jill is in the attendees. Can you move her over, please? So any other questions? Nope. All right. You said it was going to be 2 minutes and it was 2 minutes. So thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Anytime you want to come back, just let us know.
I will. I certainly will. Okay. Good night.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Bye-bye. All right, so we're going to move on now. So this is, every other month DDC comes and we get filled in on how the projects that are being, the construction projects in our community, where they are, what's happening, and it gives us a chance to ask questions. So we are going to start out. Who's going first? Who are we talking to? Deshant, I see you're here. Who else is here?
Good evening. Bashir, yes, yeah, okay, so you can move the slides.
Okay,
So you're going to start first?
good afternoon all. So we'll start shortly with our project and community.
I just muted myself.
Oh, wait, I'm having a problem hearing.
Hello,
Who's starting first?
can you hear me?
Yes, but who is it? Is it Bashir?
Yes, better.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. So you're
After
starting
today's rule.
first.
Yes. So good afternoon all. We're starting with the update for Community Board 1, all the projects that we have. The first project that we have is the reconstruction of confined sewer in West Broadway. I believe we have Amy or Gerald with us.
I didn't hear. Which street is it?
The one on the
Uh,
left is
Broad-
audio, the one.
West Broadway?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Hi everyone, this is Amy. I'm the CCL for the West Broadway Combined Sewer Reconstruction Project. Our project takes up the West Broadway section lasting from Thomas Street to Leonard Street. Currently, our project has no construction going on.
I'm sorry.
Because-
I'm sorry. Everybody, please
Talking
mute
about the
yourself.
construction and all the things, the streets that are gonna be closed.
Hello? Everybody, please mute yourself. Except for Amy. Okay, Amy, go
If you
ahead.
can't mute yourself, I'm going to make you an attendee.
Okay.
All right, I'll go again. So, hi everyone, I am Amy, the CCL for the West Broadway Combined Sewers Project. So currently our project has no construction activity scheduled because we have received a stop work order from MTA. MTA is requesting our contractor to resubmit a sheeting protection design. That stop work order was issued on Monday, January 9th. Since then, our contractor was working on their new sheeting design and has submitted their new design for approval to the MTA 2 weeks ago. Currently, we're waiting on MTA to approve the design. I believe Gerald, our RE, is trying to get an update from MTA to see when we'll get the approval. After that is approved, our project will be back with construction activity. So currently, I am not exactly sure when the date will be, but once I receive an update, I will be sending out a email to everybody telling them, hey, our project is back up and ready to start work again. That's
Great.
all
So,
from
Amy,
me.
the sheeting means covering over the holes in the street?
Yes, covering over the I guess pipes and things that's belonging to MTA because where we're working at, part of our project is right on top of the MTA's subway, and it gets none of their pipings. So I believe the MTA was not satisfied with what our contractor had before, so they requested them to resubmit a new sheeting design.
Okay, and hopefully that sheeting, when the, you call them sheeting, I didn't realize that. When the sheeting
Yeah.
goes down, hopefully it won't be something where every time a car goes over it, whoever is living in close proximity hears all night, ba-bump, 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 right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, thanks, Amy. So we'll hear from you, it's fine. You can wait till what is this? This is February, March, April, you'll be back. So by April, you'll be up and running.
Pat, this is Dushyant. Let me give you the little bit update on seating. I believe it should be approved by probably the next week. And once it's approved, the contractor will resume the activities.
Okay, good.
Okay, no problem. And this on the screen, it's showing the 12-inch water main replacement work we done before the contractor took their holiday vacation back in December. And this is for the east side of West Broadway between Ward Street and Nenner Street. They put in a new 12-inch water main.
Worth and which street?
It was between Worth and Leonard.
Leonard, okay,
And
thanks.
the east side of West Broadway. And they also installed new fire hydrants between Ward Street and Leonard Street after they finished with the water main replacement. This was all before January as well.
Okay, so yeah, so then looks like you got quite a bit of work done there.
Yes, and this is a project drawing showing what we still have left to do. So after our sheeting design gets approved by MTA, we'll restart the project doing 3 water main replacement on the west side of West Broadway between Ward Street and Leonard Street. We will be upgrading the 12-inch water main to a 20-inch. We'll be upgrading the 20-inch water main to a 24-inch water main, and we'll be replacing the current 24-inch water main with a new one.
Okay.
That is what we have planned originally if we didn't get the stop work order. And I believe that's still the plan going forward. But if anything changes, I will be giving everyone an update. Yes, this slide shows clearly of the 3 water main, 2 on the west side of the street. On the right side, you can see it clearly. There's 3 that will be upgrading and replacing.
How old are these water mains?
I am not very sure, but I'll find out for you and get back to you guys.
Yeah,
All
I'm
I
just
know
curious.
is they're quite old. That's how I could
Right.
say it. But I don't
Right,
know
right.
the exact age of the mains.
Okay,
Uh,
that's fine.
Pat, this is Bashir. I'm looking at the slides that we have. So the 12-inch water main, it was from 1870.
Wow.
The 2 20-inch water main from 1898.
Wow.
Very-
Yeah, they need to be replaced.
Exactly.
1870, and what was the other one? 1898?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
I mean, initially this was a combined sewer project, but when the contractor excavated and we looked at the water mains, it was very old, made of cast iron, and whenever it's cast iron, we have to upgrade it to ductile iron pipe, which is the
At
new.
least they're not made out of lead.
No lead.
Good, good. All right. Terrific. I was just curious, so that's interesting to know. 1870 and 1898. They need to be updated, definitely.
Of course.
And what is it going to be? What is it, PCB, or what is it upgraded to?
Ductile iron pipe, DIP.
Okay, VIP. Great. Anybody else have questions? Nope. Okay.
Right.
We can move on.
Thank
Going-
you.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Amy. Nope.
Going to the next project, we have a Greenwich Street project. I believe we have Philip to update us on this project.
Yeah, thank you, Betsy. Good evening, everyone. I'm Philip Stafford, the liaison for the DDC's Greenwich Street project.
Hi.
Been at it about over a year now, so we have I'll try to keep it brief, but it's somewhat of a substantial update. So you can see we're working from Greenwich Street, from Barclay Street, all the way to Chambers, the highlighted area there. And the majority of the work of this job is between Barclay and Murray. So we're going to do all of the upgrades, all of the utility work, and we're going to restore that entire area before we even go up towards Chambers. And you can see the scope of work here, all these different things we're going to do. Our sequence, which we've stuck to, is we're doing all of the sewer work, we're doing the water main work, and of course, when you're trying to replace the sewer or the water main, there's many utilities in the way. So all of that work is kind of happening concurrently. And then we can move into the curb, sidewalk, paving, street furniture, all that kind of stuff. Kind of most notably, when we're done, the curb on the west side of Greenwich Street from Barclay to Murray will bump out in 3 sections. So the street will be, you have a lot more sidewalk and less roadway to go along with the kind of street furniture upgrades as well. And here are just some of the numbers we're at right now. Like I said, we've been here over a year, just a little bit. So about 41% of our time has elapsed. And by the money paid out in the contract, we're about 20% done. It's quite the discrepancy, but we still believe that we're on time to finish in the kind of original completion date of the job. It's just the payment is always lagging behind a little bit, so it's not totally reflective of the progress we're making.
Right. And your completion date is?
I think it's November 6th, 24. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Thank you, Bashir. And our ongoing work is, we have some pictures on the next slide, but we have at Greenwich and Barclay Street, we have a mass excavation. Basically, we're getting all of the utilities out of the way and relocating them so we can put in the new water main. And okay, you can see here on the left side, this is on the left-hand side, that's World Trade Center 7 in the back. And it's just about every utility we run into in that picture. So we're moving the gas, Con Ed has to move their ducts so we can install our water main. So this is ongoing, but having such a large excavation is really helpful because we don't have to dig as many test pits and we don't have to waste any time really. And on the right side, that is Murray and Greenwich facing east. Kind of see Target in the background there a little bit. And this is just a new gas main being installed. So it was on the south side of the street, and we moved it to the middle of the street so we can replace the water main there as well. And it's hard to see from this picture, but if you go back, thank you, Bashir. If you just see where the machine is on the left-hand side picture, that's almost as far as the curb is going to come out. I know it's hard to tell, but
yeah,
the curb is really going to bump out. And that's our update. We're making progress at a pretty steady clip at the moment.
Good, great. No complaints, I hope.
No complaints. Just it's turned into more of a kind of constant coordination between us, the bank, BMCC, but no issues really.
Okay, this is the Mellon Bank?
Yeah, BNY Mellon right there on the west side.
Okay.
I'm still in contact with them, their staff. I'll probably talk to them Friday, but last I heard they didn't have any plans to start their job immediately, maybe this summer, but we'll have a pretty good field meeting before they start anything.
Right, and just let us know what's going on, and so there's no conflict between what they want to do and what you have to get done.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been pretty good so far, at least.
Good. All right. I hope that relationship continues.
Yeah, we'll try. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. All right. Who is next?
So for our next project, which is Front Street, we have Howie.
You said Front Street?
Yes.
And who is it that's presenting?
Howie.
Howie, hi, Pat. This is Amelia. I believe Howie is Howie here?
Hi, Amelia.
Yes, I saw him in the chat.
Let me check in the attendee section.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people here, so people who should be panelists probably should raise their hand, especially if they're part of the DDC team. Okay, Howie.
Howie is here. He's on the attendees list.
And also Norbert, please.
Norbert.
Laura as well.
There's 2 Norberts.
One more bite and you can have your
I got
Close.
okay.
I'm proud of you. Okay, you can take a
Nice,
look.
it's got Payne. It's got, all right. All right,
Good job.
I think everyone should be on. Hallway, you can unmute yourself.
Sounds like somebody needs to mute though. So Howie, are we waiting for you?
Okay, there he is.
Hi, everyone.
Is it Howie?
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing okay, thank you.
I'm the resident engineer for the reconstruction of Front Street from John Street to Old Slip. For our scope, we have 6 blocks of roadway reconstruction, curb and sidewalk, ADA ramps, catch basins and chutes, hydrants, street lights and traffic signals. And also we have, since this is a joint bid project, we have Con Ed, ECS, and Spectrum as partners. We also have street signs and tree removal and pruning. Next slide, please.
You do the street, the tree removal and the pruning also?
Yeah, I believe there were some trees that we're supposed to remove, and that was
To be
designed that
Are they
way.
gonna be permanently removed or are they gonna be removed while you work and then returned?
I believe they'll be replaced.
Okay, I'm sorry to be nitpicky. So replacing with new trees or they'll come back again, the old trees will
New
come back
trees.
again? Oh, new trees,
Yep,
okay.
yes.
All right. Okay.
So work completed to date. We had 9,600 feet of Con Ed electric conduits, 6 Con Ed manholes. We also did some steam main work, installation of housing, asbestos abatement. Also, we relocated an anchor, which interfered with one of our catch basins. So far, we have installed 5 catch basins and 1 manhole in all the chutes, and we also have 2 sewer manhole replaced, which we did because Con Ed damaged the sewer while they were installing the steam main, and that was probably years ago. But we did replace section of sewer. We lowered some 12-inch water main that we found that were too shallow for our roadway. And so far, we've completed 4 blocks of trolley removal between Front Street, on Front Street between Old Slip and Pine, actually Maiden Lane. Now, next slide, please. So some of these unanticipated work we found were done by existing infrastructure. So some pipes were penetrating the existing sewer. So we're planning to do some repairs. And this is Maiden Lane. And also we'll probably be doing some water main work along with that.
These look really old.
Yes, I believe the old ones were 1800s as well.
Yeah, wow.
Yep. Next slide, please. So currently, we're still on trolley removal. So now we're up to Maiden Lane. Right now we're between Maiden Lane and John Street. So relocation of existing utilities that we find were too shallow for our new roadway. We also installed some catch basins, manholes and chutes between Wall Street and John Street, which we were able to do because we have a second crew. And just to note, the second crew we got from P&T they were originally on the West Broadway project, which had a stop work order. So I believe when West Broadway starts again, then we'll back to a single crew.
You've also had great weather, so that's helped a
Yes.
lot too. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the past couple of weeks.
Right, right.
So we're doing a lot of work right now, but we could slow back down again.
Yeah, exactly. I see the down at the very bottom, full roadway reconstruction for 6 blocks, 1 block of cobblestone. Now, don't forget, you know how we feel about cobblestones.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
they will go back.
Okay. But we'd like them to go back so that they last for 100 years. So,
Well, that's what we're trying to work towards.
okay, great, great. All right.
So
What is the completion, estimated completion?
as of right now, our completion date is October 13 of 2023.
Okay.
But I believe the contractor was estimating possibly June 30th of 2024
Oh,
because
okay.
of all the conflicts we have with utilities.
Yeah. All right, so you'll just let us know.
Yes, we'll do.
Yeah, yeah. When you open it up, you always everybody runs into more than they thought they were going to. So,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, great. Any questions from anybody on the committee or the public?
I have a quick question. Hi. So I was going to ask about the cobblestones, but also the trolley tracks are kind of interesting. Are they above ground or below ground? I'm kind of wondering, because you're going back to these 1800 sites, if you're also, hitting any interesting objects or archaeological finds.
Well, for our street corridor, there were no visible tracks. But so we had to dig down and try to find certain if there's anything. But so far the only thing we found was the railroad ties, but we have not found any steel tracks at all.
Wow. And the railroad ties there was a railroad stop there?
I believe that those were for the trolley tracks. The railroad
Those-
ties are basically the wooden pieces that's
Right.
underneath
Oh,
the steel tracks.
That go
I see.
across, yeah.
But we haven't found any actual steel tracks. We did find some really old water main. Yeah.
I bet.
We did find a pretty big water valve that the DEP wanted, so the contractor delivered it to them.
You mean to keep it a historical piece object?
I
Yes,
believe
yeah,
there
yeah, they
it
say
was a
please.
rare type of valve, so they
Oh,
wanted it.
cool. If you get a chance to get a photograph of that, we're nerds. We'd like to see what it looks like.
That is so
Steve
true.
Amelia
I'd love to
has
see.
Pat, I have one. I'll send it to you. It was sent to DP has like a museum where they store a lot of this for display. So
Uh-huh.
that's what they did. We called them and they arranged and it was brought over to them.
Oh, cool.
Definitely, I'll send it to
Yeah.
you.
Send it to Lucian and then he could share it with us. 'Cause
Yeah, yeah.
was a-
I'd love to even see the ties, the railroad ties.
They were mostly pieces of wood.
Oh, okay.
Very old wood, almost dark black. I have
Petrified.
some pictures of that too. I'd be happy to send.
Sure.
That
Yeah.
valve was huge. It's not a small valve. It's a very big piece, very heavy. But I will
Oh.
send you that. I'll have that
Oh,
sent to you
great.
tomorrow.
Cool. Exciting.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Howie, thank you, Amelia. Howie, anything else?
We're pretty close to finishing the trolley tracks removal. So the first crew that was doing that will then turn to work on catch basins, starting from John Street south. But we are anticipating we're losing the second crew, which is on Wall Street right now doing catch basins.
Right.
So
So let's slow you down a little bit.
yeah, we
Okay.
kind of turn around starting from John Street south with the catch basins.
All right. Well, it's kind of scary this weather, but let's hope it holds out so that you can get these projects completed.
Yeah,
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Howie.
no problem.
So now who is next?
So it will be me again, Bashar. So
Okay, sure.
we'll talk about the reconstruction of Vesey Street between Church Street and Broadway. The projected completion date is September 17, 2024. So we start the contractor mobilized
I'm sorry. Just tell me the completion date again.
September 17, 2024.
Okay, thank you.
The contractor mobilized to the site on October 17. Percentage of work completed is like 19% so far. So technically, we are doing a lot of progress on Bessie Street. The scope of work is mainly to installation of catch basins, installation of sewer cleanup manhole. We also want to upgrade the water main from 12-inch to 20-inch. In addition to private utility upgrades, we'll also be doing some work for the street lights, the traffic signals, installing the sidewalk, 6-inch granite curb, and we also upgrading the pedestrian ramps on the Church Street and Bessie Street intersection.
What are the private utilities?
So I have some pictures in the next slides. We're talking about electrical conduits, ECS, Verizon, Spectrum. We have Oilos for Con Edison. We have the gas main in yellow right here. And the challenges that we have been facing on Bessie Street is we are dealing with the aftermath of 9/11, where all the private utilities had to relocate all the new lines to feed the area. And we also find a lot of abandoned private utilities conduits that is dead, that's empty. So we take it away to make more room for the 20-inch water main.
I'm just curious. So if they're private utilities and you guys are city, do the private utilities pay for this?
Of course.
Or you just doing, oh, they do. Okay.
Yeah. So this is a joint bid project under joint bid 1.0 agreement. Actually, we have Con Edison funding 49% of the project. We have ECS funding 17% of the project, and the rest is funded by the federal government and the city of New York. Because again, this area of Bessie Street, during the cleanup after the 9/11, all the trucks had to take Bessie Street to remove all the debris.
Right. Okay. I was just curious. That's good to know that they're kicking in some money.
Yes.
Good. Good. All right. And it's going well. So you think you'll be completed by 9/17/2024?
I mean, we've been working very hard with both utilities and the contractor. As of now, there is no delays on this project. The contractor took a break during the holidays, and they came back to the site on January 30th. So we believe we can finish this project on time.
Yeah, you'll let us know if there's any problem. No one really lives there, so you haven't had any noise complaints or anything, have you?
I mean, we had some complaints from the business owners on Bessie Street, especially at the beginning.
Stage door.
Yes, stage door dining. Also the gift shop, the smoke shop, and we have CVS just opened around the corner on Broadway.
Right.
But I mean, we have Laura, she's our CCL, and she's been doing a great job coordinating with all the business owners, all the work. So.
Good. How about at rush hour, late at night? Do you have any problems with everyone trying to access the Brooklyn Bridge?
Not really. So
okay, good.
Because it's much faster, we put some signs, we narrowed the road, but actually most of the time, Bessie Street, people used to park both sides. And so that we left one lane open, so we did not change any traffic.
Okay.
People can't park there anymore, but I mean, we have the cost of the construction, taking some parking spots.
Right. And the church has had no complaints, right?
So Laura have been reaching to the church. They provided us with their schedule, and we are working with our contractor to minimize all the noise during their activities or events.
That's great. Thank you for doing that. Good.
Anytime.
Hi, Pat. This is Laura, the CCO for reconstruction of Bessie Street. I just wanted to join.
Hi, Laura.
How are you? Good.
I'm okay. Good.
So as Besha the RE was saying, you know, there's been a lot of coordination happening on Vesey Street with all the businesses.
Right.
Obviously, you know, this type of work and projects requires a lot of communication and coordination, right? We can work together with the community. And when it comes to the St. Paul's Chapel, we have requested for them to send us the an event schedule, and we are on the works to meet with them and have a meeting with them for the future events. But so
Okay,
far, coordination and work-wise, you know, it's all under control. We've been very proactive with the community and the businesses in the area.
great. I feel bad for Stage Door because the owner, the young woman who now has taken over ownership, she worked real hard to get it reopened. So I hope she's doing a brisk business.
Right, yeah, we actually talked with them every day, and you know, we're working as much as we can to accommodate everybody in the area.
Okay, great. Good. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
All right. So who's next?
So right now we will be with Norbert, our RE on Nassau Street.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Norbert Clues.
How are you?
I'm introducing Nassau Street reconstruction. This is a project that's right around the corner. It has not started yet, but the contractor is slated to start late March. Probably starting test pits the week of the March 20th, based on their initial schedule. The scope of the project is Nassau Street between Pine Street and Maiden Lane. The scope of work is 3 blocks of full roadway reconstruction. This will include granite curbs, sidewalks, upgrading ADA ramps, installation of catch basins and drainage, a new wayfinding sign, and the restoration will include 9-inch concrete road base with 3-inch asphalt top. There will also be a new bump out on the east side of Nassau Street and Cedar Street to accommodate those ADA ramps. And there will be upgrades to street lighting and like what's that?
I'm sorry. What are ADA ramps?
It's the American Disability Act. Basically, we make sure that all the ramps are handicap accessible and upgrading them. So basically, this wheelchairs and anybody with a stroller can get up onto the sidewalk without any issues.
So it's like the curve cut.
It's basically those
the angle.
Yes, at the corners, the ramps that have the detectable warning surfaces, also for the blind.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Right.
So,
you have the black with the circles.
Yes. It depends also if it's, if it's federally funded, then we have the white, and if it's sometimes they're red. So we're upgrading all those to make sure we have the right grades, to make sure that we're compliant. That's the biggest scope of the project. And also, like Bashir mentioned and other speakers, this project involves a lot of Con Ed and ECS private work. It is joint bid as well. Con Ed around 28%, ECS 22%.
Right. Okay.
And the rest is from the city.
So I know you haven't started yet, but how long is this? How long is the anticipated project?
The completion date is June 27th, 25. And like I said, we're supposed to start late March with test pits, probably around Pine Street, and then working towards Maiden Lane.
Okay. And I don't think Rose is here tonight, is she, Lucian?
Rosa? No, I haven't seen her, but I can check the attendee section again.
Okay, so we'll just have to let Rosa know that, because I'm sure she'll have questions for you all. Rose is one of our board members who lives on Pine Street.
Hi, Pat. This is
Pine
Marlene from DDC Outreach. We also wanted to let you guys know that there will be a community construction liaison assigned to this project. She will be starting next week, so she will begin doing her outreach and reaching out to the CV as well, and all the businesses and buildings.
Great. If she lets, she introduces herself to Lucian, then you can let Rosa know, so Rosa knows who to have her neighbors contact.
Sure, and she will provide notices before work starts and throughout the project as always, and attend these meetings as well.
Thank you.
And I'll just only add, since we're talking about Nassau Street, Con Edison today sent me a notice about some temporary road closures to install service to a new building. I'm going to be including it in our newsletter this weekend. So, if anyone wants to receive these types of notices, please sign up for a newsletter. And I'll put the link on the website that has the sign up. You just scroll to the bottom and you'll see the sign up.
Can you just tell us, so Nassau's closed between which streets? Do you remember? If
Off the
not,
top of my head, no. I can paste it in the chat as well.
I believe,
yeah,
I believe based on some signs that I saw, it's between Maiden and John Street.
Okay.
It's supposed to be for the next 2 months. But yes, that would be helpful if we get any information about that, just so we can coordinate with our contractor.
So, yeah, if it's fully closed, if Nassau is fully closed, that's a project. That's a problem, if it's fully closed for 2 months. So anyway, we can talk about it. It's not your project. We can talk about it later. Great, thank you. All right, so Norbert, is there anything else on this you wanted to tell us?
No, that's it. I'm pretty sure we'll have much more for the next meeting.
Yeah, when you get started.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But just in case, is there anybody on the committee that wants to ask any questions? I don't think anybody else lives on Nassau except for Rosa. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So who's next?
We're done.
We're done.
Yes.
That was really quick. Wow, thank you.
Done with phase 1 of DDC.
Yeah, but that's great. All right. So any questions from the committee? Nope. All right. So any other geeky thing that you think we might like, just send us some pictures. We love to see, anything that might be historical or, we just like to see it. Like, I love to know that these water mains are from 1870. Wow, it's incredible.
Yeah, Sonia used to send me pictures of the trolley tracks they're pulling out of vestry.
Yeah, things like that. I mean, it's always.
I'm so glad to know I'm not the only one.
Before we move to Borough-based jails, MDC, I think Scott Payne is with us, and I think if we can let Scott go for Water Street, since that fits in more with the reconstruction discussion rather than the dismantling.
And we haven't seen Scott in a while. So everybody, thank you. And as always, we love having you come. Thank you for taking time out of your evening to come and fill us in on what's going on with the projects. And we will see you in 2 months. But you're welcome to stay to hear from Scott. Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Hi, Pat. How are you?
Scott, how are you? We missed you.
I'm good. I miss you too. It's a little late, but Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's never too late to say Happy New Year.
Thank you.
So what's going on Water Street?
Yeah, so we currently have 4 locations operating right now. We have the intersection of Water and Whitehall, where we're working on Con Edison's electrical facilities. And on Water between Broad and Quintus Slip, we're still excavating for Con Edison's electrical duct work there, as well as on Water between Quintus Slip and Hanover Square. We're also doing Con Edison electrical work. And last but not least, our 4th location, Water between Wall and Pine. We're working on the reconstruction of the existing gas main at that location. And
So is Water and Pine?
Yes, between Wall Street and Pine Street.
Wall Street.
Yes. And we've also been working at that location on weekends to help expedite the work there.
The one at Wall and Pine?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I also wanted to add that we were having some rodent concerns on that block as well, between Wall and Pine. And I wanted to especially thank the Department of Sanitation and the Community Board for helping me coordinate a meeting that took place last week. I wanted, because we have a couple of hotels on that block. We have the Indigo, we have the Holiday Inn, and we have the new Wall Street Hotel. And so, you know, a lot of their residents were reaching out to me about
We're a little freaked out by the rats.
Yes, yes. And what's interesting at that location, we're not able to plate over the work every day in the trench because due to the what is it, the construction of the structural work for that gas main to go in, we're unable to plate at the end of every day. So at night, of course, when the garbage bags go out, you know, what are the rats going to do, right?
Playtime. It's
Yes.
dinner. The dinner bell.
It's
Yeah.
dinner time. So I spoke to all of the hotels, and there's a residential building there as well, a condominium. So they do Department of Sanitation takes away their garbage, but the three hotels use private carters. So now Wall Street, we really the Wall Street Hotel, we haven't had an issue with them because they put their garbage out on Pearl Street. And you know, they've been very good about that. But the Indigo and the Holiday Inn, just even though they line it up and they hose down the sidewalk, it's just been a feast for the rodents. So we had a meeting last week, and basically the conclusion of it was that they're gonna what is it, invest in like those push cart trash bins on wheels that you put
You mean
the
the big ones at the lid?
yes, with the lids, and so they can put the trash bags in there, and you know, basically just roll it back into their hotel after what is it, the carters pick it up. So again, that's another barrier for the rodents, and they've already seen you know, a marked improvement. They have cameras at night, and so they haven't seen any pizza rats or any you know, coming out to feast.
Or any other cuisine rats. Yeah.
Right, right. And
Right.
then sanitation spoke to the condominium in the middle of the block in the corner of Pine because they were putting their garbage out way too early.
Well, you
And,
know, there's a new
yes,
rule.
there's a new rule that's going to go into effect on April 1st.
8 o'clock. Yeah.
Yes. So, right, they're all on board for that, but they were actually putting out too early. They were putting out like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And, you know, that just
That's
was
way too early. You have every pedestrian's trying to get to and from the subway. walking over.
exactly. And of course,
Yeah.
and the rats, you know, they're very smart, and so they know when it's coming out. They know
Yeah.
when they're being picked up. So,
Yeah.
you know, with the mark improvement with the private carters, now picking up the bags in those lidded containers, and now with the condominiums putting it out a little later, you know, hopefully we
Hopefully that will
can
reduce
tackle this problem, you know, a little better. So
Great. Let us know if there's any help you need from us.
I will.
Okay.
And that's
And
mhm.
overall, when is the Water Street project due to be completed?
So our anticipated end date now is November of 2024.
Okay, November 2024. Time goes quickly. Again, with everyone, the good weather is helping move these projects along.
Yes, I
Um,
know February, it's crazy, 60 degrees
Right.
today, right?
A little scary too.
Yeah.
Michael, any issue with your building or your block with Hanover Square? Yep, you're on mute.
Pat, I'm not over there anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, yeah, no, I'm an outer ball guy.
Oh, okay. All right. So we'll have to ask somebody who's still in that building and see if there are any issues. But so far, Scott, you haven't had any complaints, right?
No,
From the residents?
no, not at
Okay.
that end. No, not at all.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Anything else you want to tell us?
No, that's pretty much it. And so we're
And-
looking into getting in the warmer months and, you know, keeping up the weekend work because I know,
Well,
especially with the gas work between Wall and Pine, you know,
we
the
can work as long as residents are not complaining.
right, right. And everybody wants it, you know, to
To
you know, be
get
done
done
as fast
quickly.
as possible.
Exactly.
Yes. And the
Any
hotels.
Any of the committee members, do any of the committee members have any questions, complaints, issues? Point out anything? Nope. Okay. Scott, thanks.
You're welcome. Have a good
Stay
evening.
away so long. Come back soon.
I will. Definitely.
Wait. I think Lucian has something to say.
Sure.
Oh, no, Scott, thank you so much for everything. You're always super on top of things, and we really appreciate it. This is unrelated to Water Street. I just wanted to let everyone know we had a request from the public that our members all have their cameras on. So this is a reminder.
Yes, I just saw that, so I
Please.
turned mine on.
Tthank you, Scott. So if
No
all of our
problem.
members would please have their cameras on for the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Scott, thank you.
All right,
and Happy
take
New
care.
Year again.
Happy New Year. I'll see you
again
Tuesday,
after
Lucian.
next.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Great. All right. So now we are moving to Borough-based jail.
Hi, Pat.
Hi, how are you?
All right. How are you?
Hanging in there, Lauren. Hanging in
Good.
there.
Glad to hear it. Thanks for having us back.
Thanks for coming.
Screen just before I start, as I'm pulling this up, I think everybody who is speaking and presenting and will be potentially answering questions from the BBJ team tonight has been moved over to a panelist. I was scanning the list earlier, but if there is anyone on my team who is still an attendee, not a panelist, who needs to be able to unmute or turn your camera on, please raise your hand in the WebEx thing, and Pat can move you over.
Someone was saying something.
I think I didn't hear what it was either, but I think we're good. All right, let me share my screen. Okay, you can see it okay?
Yes, we can. I can.
Okay, thanks everybody. So we're here again bi-monthly. So our agenda tonight will go over first the slide, just kind of recapping things we've been hearing in the past meetings, both at Community Board 1, also in the NAC meetings, which are recorded and posted on our website if anyone's interested in hearing what's shared out at those meetings. It's a very similar presentation. So we'll recap, just things we've been, questions, concerns that we've been hearing out. Then I will turn it over to Rich Peterson from Gramercy, our contractor. He will walk through dismantle project updates. We'll touch base about community engagement and resources that are available for the community, and then we'll open it up for questions. So got a lot of things that we're compiling here. So thanks to everybody for always sharing your feedback and your thoughts and your concerns and giving us a chance to address them. So we have gotten some questions recently about the schedule, requests to share a little bit more detailed information about what's going to be happening in the dismantle on our milestone slides, so that just everybody can kind of wrap your heads around it, kind of mentally prepare for work as it's kicking off and as things are getting going. You've probably been seeing a lot more activity on the construction site, and then also some concerns about some night and weekend work that we have ongoing and upcoming over the next few weeks. So we'll share some more information about that on slides 5, 10, and 11. And I will also just say, just want to caveat this, we're going to try in these meetings to provide more detailed information about what's going to be happening in the future on the dismantle site. But everyone keep in mind, construction schedules are very much subject to change. That's why we send out our weekly bulletins and our 72-hour notice advisories to give people a more accurate heads up. So we'll project things out in these slides, but really the more confirmed dates out in the construction bulletins. We also have obviously a lot of questions swirling around citywide jail population numbers and Plan B. Some folks have heard, comments from the mayor on, is there a Plan B? We've gotten a lot of questions about that. I actually want to see America from the Mayor's Office of Criminal Justice is here with us. America, do you want to say a few things about this just up front, and then we'll continue with the rest of the presentation?
Sure. Thank you. Happy New Year, everybody, since it's never too late to say it. Would just like to say that Mayor Adams' priority is the health and safety of all New Yorkers. And while we may not currently be at a jail population number that would allow us to close Rikers right now, we're not set to shift to borough-based jails until 2027. In the meantime, we continue to work towards reducing the jail population with the assistance of the Department of Correction, other city agencies, our contracted partners, and our partners in the council and state. Of course, we're listening to all ideas. If there are other plans that we need to consider as a plan B, we will consider them. But we will ensure that any path forward is in full compliance with the law.
Great, thanks, Amika. I know you're gonna stay on as long as you can, but might have to hop off this call a little bit early. So I appreciate you sharing that information out right up front, and instead of having to wait for Q&A. So thanks very much. We've also gotten questions around project budget, and again, we have no new numbers to report at this time. But if and when the budget projections change, we will be sharing those updates with everybody. A few updates to share on the FOIL request. So we're slowly working our way through. There are a number of documents requested by CB1, and so we've been sharing them out as they're available. The 87 Lafayette photo survey, pre-construction survey, that was shared directly with the property owner already, but we can share a redacted version of that out shortly with the community board. And again, that has to be redacted because the pre-construction surveys contain photos of interiors of private buildings, and so we're not able to share that out. If the property owners themselves choose to share their unredacted versions with other members of the community, they're more than welcome to do so, but our team will not do that. It's a privacy issue. Of course, we have, and a couple other things. The North Tower demo plan is still pending, and the HABS report is also pending. And in particular on that one, I just want to say, due to the sensitive content that's in that report, sorry, when I said HABS, it's the Historic American Building Survey. Sensitive content that is pertaining to DOC security. We're not able to share that one out yet, but when that is available, we will keep the board updated and let you know we can provide that. Requests for environmental monitoring updates. So we've been sharing those regularly. The reports are also posted on our website on a monthly basis. So we'll be recapping that on slides 13 and 14. We cover rodent control in every meeting, so that's on slide 12. Emergency protocols, we've gone over this a few times, but we're keeping it in this deck for now. This is a big question for a long time on slide 16. Updates on the Baxter Street commercial parking meter on slide 20. And finally, some updates on the sidewalk shed that's being installed currently right now on Center Street and Baxter Street. Okay, so with that, Rich, I will turn it over to you and you can walk through updates on the dismantle project.
Just give me a second. Is video up?
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Hi, everybody. How are you?
Good evening, Rich.
So the first few we've all talked about. Site assessments and surveys were done early last year, as well as our initial mobilization and site fencing that was installed. Interim Sallyport started in June and is ongoing and should be wrapping up towards the end of April of 23. Internal work inside both towers has been going on since June of 22 and is expected to wrap up March of 23. Dismantling work began December of 22 and will go on through April of 24. A little bit more details within that is the White Street Bridge between the towers was done in January of 23 this year. Water disconnects are ongoing. Some of it is happening in the evening between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. or in the night, I should say. It's scheduled for night work. Chung Pack roof protection in the Baxter Street sidewalk will be going on weekends from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And forgive me, but I have the text boxes of, I guess, my speech hopping over the screen here. Scaffolding installation will begin in March of this year, and the gym and commercial space dismantlement along Baxter will begin in early spring. I'm going to walk everybody through the initial video representation of the project. While this was created some time ago, it still is extremely close to the intended plan, and I know some of you may or may not have seen it. Right here on Center Street is where the sidewalk fence will be installed. We will be installing protection over the oil static line on White Street, which is currently in place. The fences are in place. The Sallyport is erected on Center Street in front of the courthouse, which is currently ongoing. Once it is completed, fencing will be changed to allow for the buses to be able to pull in and back into the Sallyport. Once that's completed, sidewalk shed will be erected along Center Street, which is currently being erected at this time, as well as the roof protection over the Chung Pak building. Scaffolding will then be installed on the Center Street side. The exact fact of that going first versus later is currently being changed. That section might come down later. The White Street Bridge had the artwork salvaged and has been dismantled. That is currently completed. At that point, cranes and scaffolding will be installed on the towers, which is getting ready to begin. The buildings will then be demolished floor by floor, level by level, bay by bay, working from top down. You will see two different types of scaffolding on this project, both of which are represented here in this video. As each floor is completed, the scaffolding will be removed down to the next level, and so on and so forth through the different phases of the building. You will see the crane picking and lowering things off of the roof, whether it be pieces of equipment, interior building components such as columns and beams, or the exterior panels of the facade of the North Tower. On the South Tower, you'll see bundles of steel being removed, as well as small dumpsters of material being lifted and lowered down to the ground. As it progresses, the bridges between the courthouse and the South Tower will be dismantled once the demolition reaches that level. Once we get below the Chung Pak roof protection will be removed, and the site will be removed of all foundation elements not supporting exterior perimeter walls of the site, with the proper shoring and bracing installed. There is a tunnel that currently exists between the two towers underneath White Street that will be sealed up and closed and abandoned in place. And the basement of the courthouse will be covered and protected with a bracing system in order to not have any loads of the backfill imposed against the courthouse. At that point, the last of the slabs will be removed. The site will be backfilled and left for the next phase of construction. This is the current layout of the site. If any of you have walked by, everything you see here in red is the existing construction fencing around the North Tower and parts of the South Tower. The yellow around the Sallyport, the yellow is the Sallyport barriers. The fencing around that is also indicated. And what you see in blue hatching is the current sidewalk shed that is being installed along Center and the northern end of Baxter. A new crosswalk was installed at the south end of Baxter at Bayard due to the sidewalk closure on the west side of Baxter Street. Once the Sallyport is completed, the South Tower will be enclosed in sidewalk sheds as the North Tower currently is, and the sidewalk shed will be extended down to the face of the existing, the new Sallyport, in front of the existing Sallyport. These are some updated progress photos. As you can see on the left is the current status of the interim Sallyport. In the center is the current construction of the sidewalk shed on Center Street. And on the right is where the White Street Bridge had once been and is now removed from the White Street area. Here's another view of the sidewalk shed as it currently is being erected. These are the community advisories that have gone up, alerting the neighborhood of the work that is being completed on the sidewalks. Regarding rodent and pest control, we have continued to monitor these stations that you see here in magenta. We check them, we rebate them, make sure nothing is noticed. We've been keeping track of it. We haven't had any issues so far. And if anyone sees anything, once again, please alert the CCL so we can take care of it. Environmental monitoring. As you can see here, we have the air and vibration monitors and sound monitors around the perimeter of the job site. To date, we have not had any exceedances on any of the monitors. Everything has been below the allowable limits. Asbestos air monitoring has been going on inside the job site, outside of the immediate containment areas, checking for negative air and confirming that no asbestos particles have left the job site where that containment barrier is located. And to date, we have not had that occur.
Thanks, Rich.
At this point, I'll hand it back to Lauren for the emergency protocol.
Thanks. And I know we had a few. Sorry, go ahead, Pat.
Sorry, Lauren and Rich. I'm sorry. Am I mistaken? Wasn't there a fuel tank that was involved underneath the building? Am I wrong?
There is one in White Street.
Mm-hmm.
We had it pumped clean, and we are waiting to remove it until it is not affecting our work area. Where it sits right now, it's not disturbing our work areas, and we don't want to remove it prematurely and have a big open hole in the site unnecessarily.
Oh, okay. So I'm not wrong. There was a fuel tank, but it's still there.
It's still there. It's been cleaned, but there's no point in opening up the ground and digging it out because it would just be a big hole in the middle of our work area.
Gotcha. Right. Okay, great. Thank you.
No problem.
And we've shared this slide a few times, and if folks remember, I think in the fall we had someone from New York City Emergency Management come out and actually go over all of this in detail, but I'll just recap here. So in addition to all of the environmental monitoring and the safety measures that Rich and his team have in place on the site, if in the event that there is, an unforeseen emergency that the community needs to be notified of, this slide is sharing out that the city does have emergency protocols in place. So New York City Emergency Management, also known as NYCEM, would be in charge of that. They would notify, the relevant agencies, the community boards, et cetera. There's also, if folks are interested in making sure that they get all of the alerts and updates. The last bullet point at the bottom, there is an emergency notification system. It's called Notify NYC. It's free. You can sign up to be part of it. You'll get notifications via text. You can also follow them on Twitter. So there's many ways that the city will get the word out if there's something that, immediately everyone needs to be notified of. Okay, and then in terms of ongoing community engagement, so we are committed to holding our quarterly neighborhood advisory committee meetings. The next ETA for that one is going to be in May 2023. We'll be coordinating with the community board to make sure that that doesn't overlap with any key dates on your calendar, and then we'll get that posted. Those meetings it's only NAC members who are able to participate, but we do record those meetings and we post the recordings of the whole meeting in its entirety on our website. So if anyone is interested, you can go check it out. We also recently started live streaming those so you can participate in real time, sign on and listen in. And we usually share the links to those live streams to the community board in advance to just get the word out. So if you're interested in knowing what goes on, there's a few different ways to see those meetings. And then also just those presentations are, if not exactly identical, almost identical. It depends on where they fall with the presentations that we bring here to the community board. So it's the same information, just shared out in another venue. We're going to keep coming back here ongoing through design and construction of the new facility. So we will all be very familiar faces to each other as the years go on. And then we also hold ongoing briefings for Chinatown stakeholders. So these are, again, it's the same presentations that we're showing to the community board and to the NACs, but we do provide a written Chinese translation on those slides. And it's just, again, it's another venue and another way that we're trying to reach out for folks who maybe don't come to the community board meetings regularly. Community resources, there's a number of different ways that we get information out throughout construction. So we do have our website where I've said we post these presentations and recordings of the NAC meetings. We have our community construction liaison, Nikita. Nikita, if you're here, I think you signed on earlier, you can turn your camera on, say hello to everybody. And we also, as I mentioned, Rich is doing a great job in this presentation, trying to give everybody a general sense of what's upcoming broadly on the Dismantle program as construction activities get confirmed on a week-to-week basis. Nikita shares out weekly look-aheads. Those go out to the neighborhood notification network. She shares out 72-hour advisories before impactful construction activities. So yeah, Nikita, I don't know if you're able to turn your camera on. You want to say hello to the group?
Good evening, everyone. This is Nikita Sin. I'm the construction liaison for the BBJ program. For some of you, I have met already. If I haven't met some of you, welcome to visit my office or make an appointment. Nice meeting everyone. Thanks.
Welcome, Nikita. Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you, Pat.
And we really do encourage anyone, if you have any questions or concerns, or you see something, or you'd like a little bit more information about what's going on, please reach out to Nikita. She's a great first point of contact. If the answers do need to come from another member of our team, Nikita knows who everybody is. She'll make sure she loops back if it's, folks at City Hall or folks at DDC or our team to get you the right information. So please reach out to her. And finally, so this should be, we talked about this before, a commercial metered parking space that DOT is going to be installing on Baxter Street to help the small businesses along that street. It's providing a space for vehicles that need to drop off food and other supplies, delivery vehicles, to make sure that they, are able to find parking. It's a very small, narrow, and congested street. The latest update we have from DOT is that they do anticipate installing that this spring. So we'll be following up with them, and when we get a more concrete date, we'll be sure to share it out, but look for that this spring. Okay, and that's the end of the presentation. So I will stop sharing my screen and we can open it up for Q&A.
Great, thanks, Lauren. I see that Councilmember Marte is here. Thanks, Councilmember, for coming. Did you have anything you wanted to add or ask? Nope. Christopher, are you there?
Is he still here? I saw him at the, oh yeah, he is still here. Never mind.
Okay, well, maybe he's occupied doing something else. Were there any? Is Alice here, by the way?
I don't think Alice could make it today. She told me that that she may have a conflict, but we do have one hand up from Nancy Kong on the public.
Lucian, this is Mitch. Do you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
I'm sorry to interrupt. It's some reason my screen went to audio only mode, and so I don't have and then the screen is black, so I don't have access to raise my hand or do anything else. I don't know why that happened, but I just want to let you know I'm here.
Okay. Did you have a question though?
No, but I just in case so you don't think that I left. So I'm just I'm tapping back to mute myself, but that's the only thing it's allowing me to do.
Okay, great. All right, Mitch, if you need to ask a question, you'll have to just chime in, okay? So I see that Andrea and Justine, and who did you say, Lucian?
Nancy Kong.
I said, let's let Nancy go first.
Okay.
Hi, Nancy.
For allowing me the opportunity to speak. And I really do want to thank the community board, especially this committee, for your ongoing efforts. So I just have a couple of points. Lauren, thank you very much for addressing the monitors. I know additional monitors were set up, so I do appreciate that. I don't think it's enough, but thank you for addressing that initial issue that I've been pressing on. In terms of the night work, I have to just, again, thank you for trying to limit it, but I have to stress that in addition to Chung Pak seniors, this is a residential neighborhood with residents, seniors, and children along Baxter, but also Chatham Towers on Worth Street. The noise actually reverberates to our building, so we will hear it. We can hear that generator that is supposed to be, that was temporarily placed about 5-6 years ago. So I am concerned that if we start allowing even a small scope, it will expand. I want to thank you for including the additional agenda items, the jail population. in terms of recognizing that the current projections of 7,000 is not allowing Rikers to close legally. So our request has always been, what is the plan for us to be able to scale up as well as scale down? That was the fundamental flaw of the borough-based jails plans from the very beginning. In terms of Plan B, I again request transparency and to include community stakeholders in discussion of options. I think we can provide ideas, and I would ask to have that as an inclusive engagement between city council member, between community board, as well, but especially the community. The NAC meetings, again, I really feel they should be open to the public and additional members be added. When at last count, there were 16 people attending and most of them were presenters or elected officials. 2 more items, I promise. In terms of, if Lauren, if you could add to the list, the other 2 items we had discussed at the last NAC meeting, in addition to the jail population, Plan B, and Plan B alternatives, is we requested updates on the other criminal justice reforms that needed to be made in addition to the physical facilities. We had asked about training, about, you know, all the items related to changing the culture, Department of Corrections, as well as recruiting. And so in order for this not to become another Rikers, the other aspects have to also progress, and we want to be engaged in those discussions. My last item that we had requested at the NAC meeting was, we wanted to know which city council committees should have oversight, given that there are concerns raised now that the 7,000 is the projected number, given that the budget may not be met. And maybe this is a question for City Council Member Marte, but we really should be pressing the responsible committees from the City Council to have more oversight. So Pat, I'm sorry it's a long list, but this is really one of the only public forums we have to ask these questions. So I thank you for your time.
You're welcome. And we're not going to get those answers tonight, so you and Lauren will take it offline, I guess, because mainly, and we welcome your input, but mainly this is to discuss construction issues or deconstruction issues. So Lauren, I guess you'll get back to Nancy about this.
Sure. Yeah, Nancy, I'm happy to follow up with you offline about a number of those. I would just like, since this is quality of life and about the construction issues, just acknowledge her one question or comment really about the night work. And this is just to say, you know, I've put this in a few emails for people who have been emailing us with questions and concerns about this. And I just want to really sincerely acknowledge that we do understand that night work is really impactful. It is not the first choice, you know, for anyone. This is not something that, you know, we're happy to be out there doing. We have to abide by the permits and work within the permitted hours that we get. Given the scope of this work, our permits were issued for it to be overnight, but we completely understand the concerns. You know, before the night work began on Monday, Rich and I spoke. We've conveyed this out to the rest of the Gramercy team and then these subcontractors they have working out there, that this is, you know, the community lives very close by, noise reverberates at night. I know that they're being really sensitive and doing everything they can to keep it down. And I think what we can say is that we're going to work as quickly as we can to finish this and get out of the way and be done working at night. So just, you know, thank you all for your patience. And I just want you to know that it's not falling on deaf ears. We really do hear you.
Good. Yeah, because that is one of the issues that this committee, we're really, you know, very concerned about night work. So thank you for addressing that. And the rest of Nancy's concerns, you will get back to her on. So we're going to move. Andrea, I see your hand is up, and then Justine.
So I have an actual request because I walk by the CCL office every day. I've noticed that pretty much the entire front window is covered with like DOT, DOB kind of paperwork permits. So there's really no view into the office. So when you walk by, there's 4 panes of glass in the front, 3.5 of them are completely covered with paperwork. So it's really unclear for a person walking by wanting to, seek information, what is going on behind that paper. And I just kind of, every time I walk by, it doesn't seem to be anyone there. And then finally I saw that their preferred drop-in hours, which are basically Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for maybe like an hour or two in the middle of the day. So if this is supposed to be like where people are supposed to come to, get answers or get information, if they're repeatedly, there's no one there, what's the point of having, an office there in the first place? So, my request would be maybe have it staffed more often, or at least take down the paperwork. And would it be possible to even open the metal gate? Because there's a step up into the office and the metal gate is not open all the way up. So it always looks like it's half closed. So it's always unclear whether or not that there's never anyone in there. And there's a really big sign up there that says, press the buzzer, and then, oh, we'll be back in a minute. So it's unclear, if the person's sitting in the very back, if someone's, trying to poke in and look, we don't even know if there's anyone back there, to even bother, pressing the button, So it would just be nice for people, to be more welcoming. If you want more community involvement, to reach out to people, be more inviting to the community. Open up your windows, all the stores next door and around are open. Why does this, office that is supposed to exist for community have to be locked and be only open, during the middle of the day, at random hours? So that's my request, just
Random
be more.
hours, I agree with you. I'm sorry, Lauren, but last time I know that this was brought up, and I know because Nikita is a woman and there by herself, that was one of the reasons the door was being locked. But why are the windows papered over so that no one can see in, Lauren?
Sure. So the windows are not entirely papered over, but we're balancing a lot of different demands here, as I like to say. So thank you for your comments, Andrea. I hear you. We've gotten requests in the past that we need to be more transparent about all of our construction permits, and people have asked that we post those in the windows and that people can walk by and see all of the permits for the work that we're doing. That's why the permits are in the windows. That's in direct response to past requests that we've gotten from community members. So we'll look into it. We'll see if there's another way we can arrange them and try to open up some more space on there. But we're trying to balance different needs. There is a doorbell that we installed, again, at the request of community members, so that it's easier to make sure you can just go up and ring the bell and Nikita will hear you. The preferred drop-in hours, again, we're balancing a lot of different things here. So the office is staffed every day from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. during the construction hours. However, Nikita does a lot of things. Sometimes she's out posting advisories in the neighborhood. Sometimes she's upstairs at the site office checking in with the team, getting the latest updates. She does participate in meetings and progress meetings, so she knows and she's informed about what's going on the site. So she may not always, during the office hours, be just sitting at her desk, stationed there. So what we've done is we've set up these preferred hours. These are times where she does not have any standing meetings. She doesn't expect she'll be out in the neighborhood posting advisories. And these are the best times if you want to just drop by without calling in advance. Those are the best times to stop by. It doesn't mean that that's the only time she's available. If there's another time that works better for you or any other member of the community, just call her up or email, make an appointment, just tell her when you want to stop by, and she'll do the best to accommodate that. She's had a lot of meetings recently with some of the businesses in Chungpak about some of this upcoming work, coordination meetings. She's hosted meetings in the office and invited people in. So she's always there. We can accommodate your schedule if those hours don't work for you. We're just trying to give people the clearest picture of when the best times, if you, for whatever reason, can't call in advance. So I hear you, and we're trying to do everything we can to be really welcoming. I know Nikita's always happy to meet with people in the office. She's happy to invite people in, but we're also trying to share a lot of that information out at the same time. So again, we'll take a look at the situation, see if there's things we can do to make it even more approachable. But we are trying to balance different needs. So thank you.
So I have a suggestion. You have like a mile of green wall fencing. Why don't you put that information on the wall fencing instead of covering up the windows?
Permits are also posted on the construction fence, but we got a request that people didn't want to have to walk by the site. They thought it should be available in the storefront of the CCL office. So if the community board would like to formally request that we do not post the permits in the window of our storefront, we can do that, but then we'd ask your help when we get complaints in the future that we're not being transparent about the permits, that there was a reason why we then took them down. So we can go either way, but we're trying to get the information out.
Okay. And then I guess I have a question would be, actually, another concern is the overnight, the overnight work. It's really disrupted the community. And the concern is that, if we start doing a little bit, it's just going to continue for the next X number of years, and people will just, be, dealing with vibrations, pollution, noise, construction throughout the night for the next umpteenth number of years. So,
I'm sorry to interrupt, Andrea. So Lauren, can you explain to us exactly what this overnight work is and how long you expect it to continue?
I can. So the overnight work that we're doing right now this week is to install the sidewalk sheds on Center Street. And the reason it's overnight is because this is impacting the travel lanes on Center Street and requires closing down one of the travel lanes for where the team is, pulling in equipment and vehicles to work. So this is why it has to be a DOT permit, and we apply and we show them what the scope of work is. And then DOT assesses based on the impact, given different times that we could do this, when are they going to authorize this for us to be out there doing the work. And so DOT assessed this and determined that the best time for us to be doing this is unfortunately overnight. So that's why this isn't something that we are electing to do. Given another option, this is when we are authorized to perform this week. So that's this work, sorry. So that's going to be going on this week. Sorry, those dates are also shared on the previous slide that we had above and in the advisories that are being sent out. And then next week we are doing, again, it's a limited scope of work, but it is to disconnect the water pipe going into the tower as we're dismantling and doing stuff in the inside of the tower, especially with temperatures being cold. We don't want water spraying all over. So the team is disconnecting a water pipe that's in Center Street, so they have to excavate. So it will be noisy. I'm not trying to cover up that fact. But again, we're going to get out of there as quickly as we possibly can. And again, it's given the location. This is not work that we're doing behind the construction fencing where we're out of people's way. This is stuff that's happening in Center Street. And so again, it's based on the scope of work. This is when we're authorized to perform it. So our as well as the team, this is not the time that Gramercy wants to be out there doing the work. I'm sure they would also prefer to be working during the normal daytime hours. That is our intent. To the extent that it is at all possible, we will be working during the normal daytime, weekday hours. But this is one exception based on this particular and limited scope of work that will be out there.
Sorry, Lauren. I have some questions. So this week, meaning when is that sidewalk shed construction over? Is it over Saturday, Sunday?
Rich, actually, you probably have the most up-to-date assessment of when your team is going to be done. I think it's just this week is when we're constructing the sidewalk shed. Is that right? On Center Street?
It takes forever for me to open up my camera. I'm sorry. I don't want to say it'll be done this week. It will go into next week.
Do you know do you know when you can finish? Do you have some idea of when it will be done?
I believe as of now, we're down to about the White Street area. We need to still do the decking and the cover on it. I'm hoping midweek we are done.
Midweek next week.
Yeah, I don't want to be outside at night any more than you want me out there. I have to split my crews. I have to work nights. It's not good for us either.
What are the night hours?
10 to 7, I believe.
So 10 p.m. to 7 a.m.
It was on, Lauren, if you can pull that slide up.
I think it's 10 to 6. Let me share the slide again. Hang on.
And is it every night?
Yes, every night this week and going into next week.
And so it requires that much time to construct this shed on Center Street. And do you do the noisiest work at 10 and the quieter work?
It's all continuous work, but it is not extremely noisy work. It is picking of these steel beams that you see here in this photo and bolting them together. I have to say, we have not, I don't believe we have been too incredibly noisy. We have been extremely mindful of it and doing the best we can to keep it to a minimum.
Okay, so would you let us know if it's going to go past mid next week. Would you somehow let the community know that?
Yeah, the advisories go out. I believe Nikita keeps them updated.
Yeah.
Okay.
If when we
Andrea?
put out one advisory, if the information on it then changes,
Yeah,
you will
it's
see the
it's
advisory.
through here. You can see it's through February 22nd, which is Wednesday. So that
Okay.
community advisory has been out.
And so then, you know, at the same time, since you're extending into next week with the sidewalk shed, at the same time, you're going to start doing this connect work for the main water main on Center Street, right? And I
Right.
understand
Do you have that advisory, Lauren? Can you pull that up? It's on the one with the 3 sheets across right here.
but the reason that has to be done is because it's in the middle of Center Street, right? And so you would have to stop traffic to do that, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and how long do you anticipate it will take to disconnect the water main? You have to just walk
The
us
hope
through
is to
it.
get that done in one shift.
Oh, just so one night?
We have it scheduled right now for
Yeah, but we put out the advisory for Monday of next week through Thursday. Because I think we try to put out the information with as much specificity as we can, but we are, you know, there's a
it is with construction. It's not like I know when I open the street, you know, if it's
right.
You
right.
hope
If
you can
you're
get
gonna
it done in one shift. You find out it's a different than you expected. There's a utility in your way that was unknown. And sometimes things go on 2 or 3 days that you didn't anticipate. So you do the best you can, you know. Obviously the quicker and the quieter, the better it is for everybody. You know, it's not good for me to drag it out multiple days either. So we do the best we can to get it done as quickly as we can.
Okay, so just explain to us, Rich, why this water main pipe has to be shut off so that people understand what's going on.
So that water feeds the North Tower. And if you leave it on, at some point it will freeze, it will break, and you will have flooding. It needs to be disconnected as part of the dismantlement.
Okay, so I have a question. So you're cutting off the water. Essentially, there'll be no water on the site. Is that what you're
No,
saying?
this is the water that powers the building. It's what used to be used. I don't know the specific line, but it's what is either used for the standpipe, the old, when the building was active, standpipes, the toilets, the sinks, the faucets. It is those water lines, not our dust suppression lines.
Okay, so you still will have dust suppression lines. Okay,
That
so
is
that's great to know. Andrea, does that help at all to actually have some information and understand what they're specifically doing?
Yeah, because like those advisories they sent out, they're very vague, you know, ongoing dismantle
Okay,
work, blah blah
so
blah blah.
that's why we try to have them come every other month so you can get very detailed, specific information. And Rich and Lauren will send out advisories if things look like they're going to change.
And one quick last question.
Mhm.
When has the permit for demolition been issued, or when is it expected to be issued?
The full dismantle demolition permit has not yet been issued.
And is there like an expected timeline or process or?
I'm striving every day to achieve that. There are many facets of it. You know, the sidewalk shed has to be installed is one of the things I have to finish before they will issue a permit. So there's many things like that take place. But come early spring, we hope to have completed all of those tasks.
Okay, so you'll be back month after next and you'll update us on that. Okay, Andrea, good? Not good, but at least you've got answers. Okay. All right, Diane, I see you, but Justine, you're next.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it, Pat. And thank you all for this presentation. I really just am typing in because it seems like Karen and Andrea said everything that I was going to say and raised the concerns, which were really important because they're actually living there. But that's important. But Pat, what I would like to say then, because I'm not going to repeat what's been said already, is that I think that we need to have in this committee a meeting focused specifically on the issues that Karen, right? Am I spacing that out? That Karen raised and was asking Lauren.
I think it's Nancy.
Nancy Kong.
Thank you. Yeah, no, thank you for that because I didn't write it down and I don't see it. So Nancy, excuse me for that because you were very well spoken and very detailed. And I have the same exact questions that Nancy does and that she raised.
Well,
and I think that the community board needs to hear them and discuss it.
Right, but Justine, I think, and Lucian, tell me if I'm incorrect, I think those issues are brought up in Alice's committee.
Environmental? That's more, and this is quality of life. I mean, we're talking about quality of life of the
Remember, in
residents.
quality of life, we're discussing specifically construction issues. We can,
So
you know what?
anything design related
Today,
is going to happen in
today
land use. Anything about environmental impacts as
is
in a
gonna,
larger sense is in EPC, but if it's like dust or vibration, that's all here because that's
I
part of
understand.
the infrastructure.
Lucian, sorry, what I was gonna say was, no, I'm talking about what Nancy was referring to in terms
And so
of
that was like the
the
population and that,
population
right.
and everything else.
And
That to me is
Windriders is
quality of life.
closing, but they aren't. They are not. So they are
Yeah,
discussing.
the population is, as it pertains to, hold on a second, as it
And
pertains to
Justin,
the
we can take this
design and how to
offline.
accommodate the certain number of detainees, that's land use because that's about that goes back to the original ULURP.
And what about staffing and what about training and all those other things that,
All of that, that's not construction issues. We deal only with the construction issues unless it is an issue like Andrea brought up, night work,
of course, no,
dust
that all makes
suppression,
sense. And I
rats,
realize,
lighting, vibration, all of that stuff we will deal with. But anything that is, going forward with how they're going to staff or when they're closing Rikers Island or any of that is not in this committee.
what
I
committee is
would
that, Lucian?
I would recommend bringing it up in exec, and then we can have a discussion about it there because there is some potential for it to go in different directions. But I think we have to be really laser focused on what exactly the discussion is in terms of staffing or training, because whether it has like a good government, is the city using its money wisely, or if it's like, is this really the most equitable, justice kind of way of doing things, are two different conversations you can have about staffing or training. So, I think we just have to be really specific and then have the executive figure it out.
So
Okay,
next,
because I think they're both very important, but I hear you and
it's an executive
Nancy,
tomorrow night.
no, not
Executive
tomorrow, it's
tomorrow
next
night.
week. It's next
No,
week
no,
because
no.
yeah, they're moving it because it's the Battery Park City Reach meeting tomorrow night.
I didn't know it was being moved. Okay, so bring it up in exec.
Solution if we
Lucian,
could do that, and then I'll
yeah,
stop talking now, but remind me that I said that. And
great.
Nancy, pay attention because you're really well spoken on the issue. Thank
And
you.
you'll want to come to the exec meeting whenever
Yes,
it is, Nancy.
exactly. Maybe we can touch base offline. Thank you.
Thanks, Justine. Diane Stein.
I know this may be staffing question, but I was just wondering if there's any reason that there's only one community liaison, or at least if Nikita could have an assistant, somebody to be in the office when she's not able to be there to address, who could be possibly there to help address people's concerns. Or is it a budgetary issue?
So we are currently budgeted to have one CCL in each borough for the borough-based jails program. So we have 4 total. Nikita is our designated point of contact for Manhattan. Before we would look into, adding additional staff, I would really just encourage folks, please reach out. If you are interested in stopping by the CCL office and having a conversation, please reach out to her and see about scheduling an appointment, because so far we have been able to accommodate every single person who has requested a time to come by the CCL. And, in the times that Nikita's there, we don't actually get a ton of people who are walking in. So I would just encourage everyone, she will make time to meet with you, to meet with your, neighbors and community members. So please just reach out and we'll be happy to figure out a way that we can do this.
And if you, to the public and to the committee, if you find that you really can't get a meeting with Nikita, then you let Lucian know, and Lucian will let Lauren know that there is a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Any other committee members or public members with questions? Is Councilmember Marte there? Councilmember?
And also, I see someone. Sorry, someone named Charles Lai has his hand up too, but sorry, Chris, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
I'd like, if Chris wanted to ask anything. Thank you for attending our meeting, Chris. If you had anything you wanted to add or ask or say,
Thank
please
you.
do.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm just here just to listen to the comments and concerns.
Great, thank you. So again, any public member who was, you said Christopher Lai had a question?
I see Charles Lai,
Oh,
LA.
Charles. Lucian, do you see Charles?
Yep, I'm gonna invite him to unmute himself right now.
Thanks so much. I appreciate your, Lauren. Thanks so much for your response and make it clear that it is not necessarily your choice. It is the DOT's permitting process. And thanks, Richard, for providing a little bit more clarity as to what the water disconnect is about. I just want to have a little bit more clarity on that exact issue. Because it's already articulated that it's going to be extremely noisy in digging through the street itself. Now, so are you saying that the pipes is in the middle of the street? That's why you need to have the that night work, and that the during the day if the parking lanes are removed. I'm just thinking on a logical basis, right? If it is a circulation issue for vehicles to get past, then couldn't the fact that if there's no parking, then there will be lanes that would allow cars to go through during the day.
So that's for
My
Rich.
potential question is all related to, if it could be done during the day, accommodating the vehicular traffic. That would address, all of these issues. That would be appreciated.
Rich,
So-
where's that water main pipe? Yeah.
So these are decisions that are out of our hands. These are stipulations provided by the Department of Transportation, and we have to follow the rules and regulations they put on us.
But just explain, is the pipe in the middle of Center Street?
Yes, it's in the street.
Okay, so traffic is going over it every day, all day long, right?
Yes, it's in Center Street, so they have to be able to excavate down and do that work, and the DOT says that has to be done during certain hours.
Charles, does that help the answer?
It really doesn't because, if it's in the evening and cars are going through, and the idea from DOT is that there's less vehicle traffic in the evening that will, allow the construction work to take place in a less interrupted manner. I get that. But if, if the lanes, right, are all cleared, then the other traffic can still move around, and you actually have an extra lane. When there's no parking. Again, I do not know, the specific mechanics of decision making, but logically, unless it's more clear, it's hard to accept that. It's the DOT decides that there is a heavy traffic during the day, so therefore you should do it in the evening.
Right. But and also, Charles, just keep in mind that Rich has said that he's hoping to get that work completed in one shift, so it'd be one evening.
And I don't have control over the DOT stipulations that are put on me.
Right.
It's not our choice to do this in the evening. It's the stipulations that we have to follow.
I get it, and I mean, Pat, I understand totally. It is, what I am trying to do, as a member of the community is to talk about, that impact, to, the one shift issue of how it disrupts, the neighborhood, and how they will have their own quality of life, being completely disrupted. So I am actually, extraordinarily unhappy about how DOT, decides, that's the best course of action.
Believe me, there are many things DOT decides that we're not happy with.
And
But-
Pat, I want to make sure I'm clear. We're striving for one shift. Like I said, things come up during construction and
Right,
underground
I heard that.
excavation, and I
Right.
don't want everyone to hear one shift as the
And one shift
end all
only.
be all. It's our goal, and it may
Right.
go on longer, but our goal is to not have that happen.
Right. Charles, I don't know if there's anything else I can help you with, to answer it, but DOT has decided that that is the time that they think is best. And of course, as residents, we all know that their decision making is not necessarily the best for us. I suggest that if it has to go on longer than one night, you call the office. Rich is going to, will post it. Rich and Lauren would post it and let the community, in close proximity to the work know that it's going on longer than one night, right, Rich and Lauren? So, Charles, I don't know
So
what else.
the community, the bulletin that went out, I believe, has it for 3 nights, as so everyone's aware.
All right, so there's 3 nights,
My
and
last,
we're hoping.
my last comment is that I just sincerely hope that, this is the initial work in this, this demolition work is for the next year and a half, 2 years. I sincerely hope that this is not going to continue to rear its head of additional occasional work that becomes much more regular, that evening work, as per DOT or other agencies, it will be evening work. I really want to make sure that, it's not the easy workaround from the city agency. That's what they decide. So that's my last comment.
Yeah, I think I think, if after this work, if there's going to be more requests for night work, we should discuss it early enough so that we can see if there's a way of doing something else other than having the work proceed at night. That's the only suggestion I can make at the moment, Charles and Rich and Lauren. All right, Charles, is that it? Was there anything else you wanted to add? Charles?
He muted himself. Charles, is
Yeah,
that
I
Charles,
got
you
it.
got
Thank you.
everything?
Thanks. No, that was my last comment, and it is at this point, it's make clear to me and the community members that it's a done deal because DOT says so. And and they're not a very cooperative agency. That's what I'm hearing.
Right.
Yeah, and Charlie, I'll
Right.
only add
Sorry.
this as district manager. I've had to deal with all sorts of night work related things where it's, like whether there's interior demolition of a building, and they have to have the carting for all the demolished materials go out during the nighttime. That's been also a DOT mandate for them because they were not allowed to do the carting during the day. And so we see this manifest itself in other ways around the district, and that's a policy where DOT prioritizes the flow of traffic over quality of life issues, and that's unfortunate, but that's the baseline that we're contending with.
I would like to then ask our elected officials and City Hall to push this issue because this is a major demolition construction project, a top priority for the City of New York. So they could make specific arrangements to satisfy the impacts to this community for the next 5 years at least. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you. Okay, any other questions or comments from the board, from the committee, or from the public? If not, then Richard and Lauren, thank you as always. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Pat. Thanks for having us tonight.
We will see you month after next.
Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night. Thank you. All right, we're gonna move along. There are a couple of things. Did we have something else on the agenda? I don't have the agenda. in front
I
of
have
me.
the public safety item on there. The first precinct that they're going to try to come. If anybody hears from the first precinct, I'll move you over. If not, I think we could proceed to the final item, which is discussing the HERC sites for asylum seeking families.
Yeah, and then don't go after that because I have 2 issues I'd like to bring up, please.
Sure.
Is anyone here to talk about anyone from the first precinct?
No, so I spoke with, I talked to Nick Giordano earlier today, just to see if there's anything that was a standout. Particularly, I asked about the HERC site, on the companion site at 52 William Street, and he said that there hasn't been any issues that they've had to respond to. Everything seems to be smooth at this point, so they'll keep
I'm not
monitoring it.
sure. I'm not sure everyone understands that the 52 William Street, which was the
Okay, so I'll start from the very beginning if we were going to go right into it. So, CB1 was notified by the Department of Homeland Services that they were administratively opening a shelter for families who are seeking asylum in the United States, adult families. So these are family groups where no member is below the age of 18. So that was being run by the Department of Homeland Services. Later, we were told that H&H, that's Health and Hospitals, was opening up another site on 99 Washington Street. This was being run by them. They're not having a different provider run it, and they were also providing wraparound services. So, and, anything that
99 Washington is for families.
This is the Holiday Inn. This is the tall Holiday Inn.
And so, is it for families? Is it for just
Yeah, this is
single?
also adult families.
Adult. So both sites are adult families.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Okay, does everyone understand that? And wraparound services will be.
I think health services. I mean, for all the H&H sites. I mean, this doesn't pertain to us, but like an example would be, school placement. But also, if there's any kind of particular needs that they have, H&H is very adept at providing those, is what I'm told. I am not very deep in the asylum seeker sheltering game at this point. This is very new for us, so we'll be learning more about those services, particularly, especially for.
And we can ask that they come in and explain to us what these services are that they are providing, because it would be interesting to know if they're helping asylum seekers get work or find permanent housing, or what it is that they are doing. I see a number of hands that have gone up. So I think Detta went up first, and then Betty went up, and then Mitch. So Detta, Betty, Mitch.
Okay, thanks. Let me see if I can get my, okay, so I just want to say one Department of Homeless Services, which is under the umbrella of Department of Social Services, they are renting out 80 hotels citywide for migrants. That's in addition to the 435 hotels that they already rent out for like New York City resident homeless. So that, just so you know, it's another 80 hotels they're going to be doing that in. And also just a reminder, I work at the Department of Buildings. So if there are questions about when a project can qualify for an after hours variance, to do evening work or weekend work, use me as a resource for that.
Okay, thanks, Detta. That's fabulous. Terrific. Okay, we will do that.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so Betty?
Sorry, my hand's not up. Sorry.
Oh, okay. You fooled me, Betty. Mitch?
Hi, Pat. Just to confirm, I read that the asylum, or the hotel that's having the asylum people helping them in the financial district, is for families with children and single women. That was what I had read in the paper.
Okay, so it's two hotels. It's 52 William Street, which is the former Radisson, which, remember, we had it was up until recently a shelter for single men. And now 99 Washington Street, which is at the corner of Rector, and it is the Holiday Inn, and it has been vacant for quite a while.
But I'm not sure that if I'm commenting on both hotels. I just remember reading in the paper where they said that the one in the financial district was for single women and families with children, which I think is a wonderful thing.
But the update is that it's for families with adult children.
Okay, they just printed children, so I didn't know adult children or small children.
No children under the age of 18. So as Lucian said,
okay,
they probably will not be needing like school seats, but other services they will need. Okay, that's it, Mitch.
Thank you. I'll put my hand down.
Okay, thanks. Justine?
Thanks, Pat. So that's so interesting because at that location, we have schools that are wonderful schools that would be so, it'd be a useful place to be putting children, but we have no say in that and no, it's not up to us. We can't opine on that, right?
As Dennis said, there are 80 hotels, so we're only 2 out of the 80. So they're probably, they're putting families with small children in other locations.
So interesting, but yeah, otherwise
We'll
that's,
just deal with what we have and
yeah,
any
exactly.
help
Fine with
that we
me.
could be, any help that we
Thank
can be to the asylum seekers. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted, and Francis, I meant to ask our guest, I've forgotten her name now, from New York Presbyterian. So they had done a drive for clothing. Francis, can you find out if they're still doing that drive, and if so, where we could drop off clothing if we have clothing to contribute or donate?
And if I can pipe in, while Francis looks into that, I know that Christopher Marte's office
I'll
is
do
still
that.
collecting.
Thanks, Francis.
Chris Marte's office is still collecting, Trinity Church is still collecting. There's a
I
lot of
reached out
places
to the
that are
borough
still
president's
collecting.
office to see if they were still, but they haven't gotten back to me yet.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
not sure if the borough president's
we could
office
get
is,
we could
but,
get all this information into our newsletter.
and you know what would be
Okay.
even more helpful, Pat, and maybe in Community Board 1 is maybe even arranging to have stuff brought directly to the, once it's opened and for business, having stuff brought directly to the shelters might be easier, but I don't know.
Well, let's find out from everybody who we're reaching out
Yeah.
to
No,
how they're.
Pat, can I make a suggestion? Justine just gave me a great idea. When we have our full board meeting, might there be, something like maybe like a big box, like to make to
No.
put donations?
No, because then it has to be arranged to be picked up, and no. So there are
Well-
organizations, we have offices already that we were just talking
Okay.
about, who've already arranged to do this. So
But Pat, actually, the borough president's office is there, right? So
Right,
that
so
would be, a
that's what
pla- if in fact they're collecting, that would be a good,
okay,
which
so
is
that's
if
what we're
they
saying.
are.
It makes
That's
things
what
easier.
he's
Said he's
saying.
reached out to the borough president's office. So let's let everybody get back to us and tell us where we should drop off if they're still collecting. Okay, so the borough president, Lucian has reached out to the borough president's office, and if they are collecting, then yes, when we have our next meeting, we can bring whatever we'd like to
Let's
donate.
kill two
But
birds with
we
one stone.
ourselves, right, but we ourselves, as the community board, we're not set up to do this.
No, I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, all right, yeah, thank you. Any other questions? If not, so we've discussed now the hotels and the asylum seekers, and yes, Lucian?
Yeah, Mitch, I went back and I looked at the information again, and what DH told us, it was adult families for 52 Williams, and the mayor's office told us adult families for 99 Washington. So I can confirm that both of those sites, we were informed that they were adult families.
Okay.
Which is good. We welcome them to our neighborhood, and we wish them all the luck. And we are, there by the grace of whatever, go
Right.
I.
Pat, I just wanted to say, maybe, and this is my own opinion, yes, we see many of the homeless people that have, substance abuse, and not all, and dealing with mental issues, and then of course many that are through unfortunate circumstances of not of their own fault. I don't feel that when I the asylum seekers, they're like, it's not that they're drug addicts or
Right.
anything like I mean they're working people that are
They're
escaping.
fleeing horrendous situations.
Right, people that you'd maybe one of their children will be the cure for cancer in 30 years. So they shouldn't. When I say like we have some more homeless people coming, it's not like I don't look at it like another homeless hotel, SRO hotel from years ago.
Thanks,
Thank
Mitch.
you.
All right. Any other questions about that program, those programs that are happening? Okay, so if not, then I have two things. First of all,
There's somebody in the public who has a hand up, Ellie.
Okay. Who is it?
And Elliot, and the member of the public named Elliot.
Hi, Elliot.
Go ahead, Elliot.
You're unmuted.
Yeah, could everyone hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
there's all, thank you for bringing up this topic. Everyone in this community is compassionate for the asylum seekers, but there is concerns about 99 Washington, and the location. It is not empty as well. I think that was stated. It is not an empty hotel. Lucian, you've seen that you're not up to speed on this. I think you should. So us as a community can understand everything. They are being paid. They lost in bankruptcy court. The owners tried to fight this. I have reached out to Representative Goldman's office to understand if that judge has a jurisdiction to make this determination. If they are looking at other hotels, there's other hotels better suited for this. It's in our area as well. The Wagner has gone bankrupt as well, and that's an area more conducive to the migrants' behavior, which will happen. They can't stay in their apartments all day long. Battery Park is across the street. Battery Park City is there. Like I said, this is a catacomb area that is, it's interesting that no one from the police joined this call. It doesn't surprise me. There is no police presence in this area. They can't control what's already happening in the area.
I'm sorry, Elliot. Elliot, would you just tell us, first of all, where do you live?
We live across the street from 99 Washington in one
So
of the residential buildings.
You're on Washington Street.
We're on the corner of Washington and Greenwich,
Okay.
Rector and Washington. So we are
Rector.
right across the street. We're hoping concerns of taking the food sheds to come down needs to happen as well. I don't know if that was demolition, so I didn't bring that up.
Okay, yeah, that's a
Understood.
different topic.
But that all is part of the ecosystem of this very tight area, which will not.
Okay, well, I
serve
live right
the
around the corner, so, and I've lived here
So
46 years, so I know
So
the
you,
area very
so
well.
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
And I have no
So
problem with this. So
I
I just want to know
understand
specifically what the problems are that you either have had or you're foreseeing might happen.
Well, there's no control of the issues that are happening now. No one's thinking they'll. I told you, no police presence, things like that. Not that we are anticipating migrants and their families to be issues. We are here to, but if hotels are being reviewed in the best interest of the migrants, this hotel was a failure due to its construction. So there are other hotels in this area that are also bankrupt that can be reviewed as well. And if that needs to be considered rather than just a period on this, there are
Let me
plenty of
just get this
locations.
straight, Elliot, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Let me get it straight. So you're
Sure.
saying there's a safety issue because of the construction at 99 Washington Street?
Potentially, but there should be other hotels considered for the migrants, and what I'm saying is that should be considered. There are other bankrupt hotels.
Right, and they may
we are-
expand it. They may expand
we
the
are-
program. We may get more hotels
You-
that are accepting asylum
all-
seekers.
We all have compassion, but the community board needs to understand that the residents in this community have concern as well. And it doesn't seem that, answers won't be happened here. It's just to bring this to your attention. And there are people looking into this. Like I said, we've already reached out to Representative Goldman to have him look into him as well. We've reached out to other local. We've reached out to the police to get information.
I was just going to say, it is not Senator Goldman's issue, though. It's a city issue. So it's really the
I
mayor's.
understand that, but I'm just learning on who best to contact to learn as well. And I know he just won, and he's now represents us with the new district. So I don't have answers. I don't have solutions. I'm just saying that there's concerns about 99 Washington, and I wanted the community board to
And this,
just to
yeah,
be
this is the
aware of
place
that.
to come. So if you
That's
have
why I'm here, and I really appreciate, and I thank you so much.
I appreciate it. And if you have other residents who have issues, please ask them to attend our quality of life community meeting, because that's what we're here for, to hear and try to help with any issues that come up. And as I say, I've lived around the corner on Cedar Street, Cedar Street, right, for 46 years. So I've lived in this community, and I know Esther in the building on Washington Street. They're across the street from you, and they've lived there for 40 years. So, we are well aware. So if there are any issues, please bring them to our attention. I see 2 hands are up. We've got Lucian and
Thank
Tevin.
you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and don't go away. Stay. Let's continue talking. So, Lucian, did you
Yeah,
want to say? And
yeah.
Tevin, how?
Elliot, I think it's fine to have concerns. We're certainly going to monitor both these sites. There was we're no strangers to hotels being used in alternative ways. There was definitely a long journey to get 52 William Street to a place where we had really good communication. And the last provider that was there was really fantastic. Black Vets for Social Justice. They really did a great job, and we were pleased with that. For this, we're going to be monitoring it really closely. We don't want we don't want any discord between the health and hospitals or operation and the community, and we want everyone to be pleased to be together. So, as any issues may arise, we will certainly move quickly to make sure that services are being offered appropriately. If there's anything that's out of sorts, we'll certainly look to that as well. But we are closely talking with the First Precinct. We want to make sure that we bring anything to their attention. If anyone sees anything illegal, we want to make sure residents call 911, as with anything in New York City. But until we actually get either a picture or a description of something that needs to be fixed, we're just standing ready, but we don't want to get in health and hospital's way unless there's a problem.
Well, also I want Elliot to, which you probably already know, Elliot, that on Washington Street, across the street from, the former Buddhist temple, there is a satellite police facility that is for security for the World Trade Center. So we have police presence right there on the block, which is always helpful.
Thank you so much. I still think 99 Washington is still going to be addressed by residents. Not everyone is pleased with that location, and we're going to be bringing our voice for those alternatives. I appreciate it.
Please have them come to the meetings and bring it up. We would love to get the police here and discuss it. If it really, is a big issue, then we should have a meeting specifically dedicated to that. Okay.
I'll put my email in the chat.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Thank you.
Tevin from Representative Goldman is here, and he has his hand up. So hi, Tevin.
Hi, good evening, Chair Moore. I just want to say thank you so much for having me, and to the board of Community Board 1.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely, and for your incredible work that you all do. Thank you, Lucian, as well. For those of you who do not know me, I apologize. I'm in transit. I am only just calling into this meeting. I want to hear the work that y'all are doing and heard about this. I do want to just add to what Chair Moore has been saying, as well as Lucian, that the city goes through a pretty extensive process when it chooses what is called a HERC site. And they use these sites in a temporary basis. I do want to echo what Chair Moore has been saying, which is this is a city issue. I know this came to our office. It is by no means has a federal nexus to what the work that we do every day. Although Congressman Goldman is on the Homeland Security Peace Committee, we have no role in this matter. We are just aware as the community board of when it comes to our district. However, the city manages all the pieces of that. So I appreciate the information from both your incredible district manager, Lucian, and then also Chair Moore. And thank you so much again for having me and letting me speak. I just wanted to clarify that, that this is a city issue, as the chair did mention. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David, and please, you're welcome to come anytime. Thank you. We're the third Wednesday of every month.
Absolutely. I will be checking in for sure.
Thank you. And so, Elliot, yes, if you have other residents that are concerned and you'd like us to have, on our agenda, this topic specifically, we will do that.
He's probably muted, but I think he's listening.
Okay, good. All right. So let's bring that topic to a close for the time being. And there are just two other things. First of all, please, committee, I love this committee. I think everybody's great. If you have any issues that you want on the agenda, please bring them to Lucian, Mariama, and myself. I think Mariama is gone and Jill is gone because I wanted to ask them if they had any, Mariama and Jill are our affordable housing subcommittee people, as Francis is our health and issue subcommittee member. So they're both gone tonight, so we'll bring it up at our next meeting. But the two things I wanted to talk about were not tonight. So it's been brought to my attention that in some way, shape, or form, cannabis is going to be allowed to be grown at home. I don't know what that means, and Lucian, chime in if you know anything. But I think we need to get information and have a discussion and get the relevant people to come to the committee and discuss it with us. My understanding that growing multiple plants produces quite an aroma, not a necessarily pleasant one, and can use a lot of electricity if they use grow lights. So it can be it might potentially be a fire hazard, especially in older buildings. So we need to have that at some point on our agenda. And then again, Mariama and Jill are gone, but I just heard about, and Lucian, if you know anything about this, that there's a program for first-time home buyers in New York City that you go through an extensive class, a course that takes you through the steps of becoming a homeowner, what is necessary to know, what to do about money, how to get financing. And then if you pass this course Frances is raising her hand, she might know about this. Frances, chime in.
I do. There are many of those courses. DC 37 offers it to its members.
Okay, so maybe we can get this on our agenda.
A lot of small community organizations, they offer this first-time home owners. And
I mean, I don't know how relevant it is in our community, since we tend to be quite expensive, but it might be something we might want to look into and get on our agenda at some point. Lucian?
Yeah, and there's is this the course that they give you some money towards a down payment?
Yes.
Yeah. And there's also, the state has programs like Sony May, which
right, where you have to
bring
go
down
to
your
classes.
interest rate.
Right.
If you're a first time home buyer, but there may be income guidelines, but yeah, we could, if I can't find somebody to speak to it, I can go over it. So I've actually used Sony May in the past. So it's but you need to make sure that you have a lender who knows how to kind of link up with it, so that they can apply that and lock in your rates and all that kind of stuff. So, but we can definitely try to do something on that.
Yeah, they're future agenda items. Hey, Bob. So the main thing is the cannabis thing. I think that's going to come up quickly, and we should probably get a jump on that. I don't know who's going to be writing the rules and regs about becoming. I don't know if just anybody can grow cannabis in their home. What regulations you have to meet. So we need to find that out and get it on the agenda. So once again, if anybody has anything else, not necessarily tonight, but anything else that they'd like to see on a future agenda, please let us know. All right. And if that's it, no more questions, I am going to call Andrea's waving bye, I think, because she wants to go have dinner. I'm going to call the meeting to a close. I am going to say thank you all. You're a great committee. I really appreciate everybody and all of the hard work that you do and all of the great questions that you ask and all of the information that you bring. So everybody, go have a wonderful meal. And I'll see you either so Justine said we're not at exec tomorrow, we're at exec next Thursday.
Right, Lucian, I think the 23rd.
Yeah. A lot of things had to be moved this month, because we want to accommodate the reaches. workshops, but also executive should always be the last committee of the month, and um, it would have been before waterfront if we didn't
Okay.
move it back. So
So I'm taking it out of my book for tomorrow and putting it
yeah,
in for the 23rd.
yeah.
All right. Anybody else? So we have now, so we know that. Okay. And I think that's it. You were gonna, you saw that I had, I found the borough board. You know, people, everybody, that there are borough boards meetings that all the chairs go to every Thursday of the month, early in the morning. And I know
All the
that we
chairs.
can go and listen. Not, you said not all the chairs?
Not all the chairs, but I'm glad you do.
Not the chairs of the chairs of the full board. And
Got it.
right. And so you know, I reached out to Andrew at Borough President Levine's office to find out the link, and if I get it tonight, I'll send it out. But you know, we'll see. Anyway, thank you all. Have a great night. I'll see
Thank
you
you, Pat.
soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Joe. Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Lucian,
Good
as
night.
always, Lucian, thank you so much for all the work you do for our committee. We appreciate it.
Thank you all
Thank
for all the
you.
work you
Bye,
do for the
folks.
community. Hey, Bob. And thank you to all the members of the public who came to
Hey,
speak.
Bob, tell Cora hi. Bye, everybody.
Okay, recording off now. Here we go.
Okay.